Hello, hello. I'm back again, this time bringing you my draft analysis for the 5th season of this league of the CBDL. And since Wolf isn't in this season, I'm out for blood. I'm in it to win it this time. So we drafted some very many new faces paired with some old faces. I'll be going over this draft in not in chronological order, but in order of points. Like the most points get told about first, and then so on. That was not English. I apologize. Well, our 10-point pick was Sabitzer Asindaes. The stat line is amazing. It has a high speed tier. It has a good attack stat. It has stab on every move. It gets U-turn. It gets core change. It's a very complete Pokemon in my opinion. Spec Cinderace when? No, I'm kidding, of course. But yeah, it makes it's a physical fire type, meaning that you can't really burn it. And it's always going to be a physical threat, especially because it's that fast. Decent bulk, you can run support if you want. With things like Super Fang and that. But I imagine most of the time it's either going to be like Banded or Life Orb, just punch some holes. Then, you guys know me. I was thinking, okay, I need a wall. I need many walls. And we opted for probably the best wall out there. It's a steel flying type, and it's Gridlock, or Celesteela. Now, Celesteela's defensive utility should be known by everyone. Like, it can 1v6 teams by just existing. If you don't have any super effective coverage for it, it can just Leech Seed stall you forever. It gets coverage, you can run offensive if you want with weakness policy, autotomize. It's very versatile and extremely hard to break. You can toxic it. Burning it will most likely not matter because it just is there to exist and Leech Seed you to death. I can't wait using these two Pokemon, especially like Cinderace and Celesteela. I think are gonna make such a good core for me. But we're gonna complete our Fairy Dragon Steel core at least. We don't have a grass type this season, which is horrible, but we'll make it work somehow. Yeah, not much to be said about Celesteela, honestly. It's just a super good wall. Video editing, no, I can't talk. Yeah. Celesteela, very good Mon. Yeah, hard to break. Next Mon, please. And of course, we had to pick him up. We had to pick up the team captain, the boy. Citacel, the Reuniclus. We're reunited once again. Reuniclus, where do I even begin with this? It abuses Trick Room. It gets Double Dance set up. It's ridiculously hard to break. It has 3 very good abilities in Magic Guard, Regenerator, and what was the third? Overcoat, exactly. It gets Recover. It gets Knockoff. It has insane coverage. This thing just does everything. You can run it as a hard wall to stall people with Toxic and Recover. You can run it as a breaker. You can run it as a sweeper with Trick Room. And we have a couple other Trick Room mons on our team as well, so Trick Room is an actual option for us this season. First knockoff access, and yeah, very hard to break Pokemon, and of course, my favorite Pokemon of all time that isn't a legendary. Don't know why I love this thing so much, but yeah, you better watch out because Reuniclus is gonna take some hits this season. I'm gonna play it way more aggressively than I did before. To get to another physical breaker now, and I thought I needed a dragon type, right? And since my Fairy Dragon Steel plans got kind of sniped when Cutiefly got picked, still can't believe I got sniped a Cutiefly, I had to change my plans. I wanted to pick up Aromatisse. I mean, I wanted to pick up Clef, but Clef got sniped, obviously. Then I wanted to pick up Aromatisse, then that got sniped. And so we redistributed. And now our 7-point Pokemon, our second 7-point Pokemon, is Haxorus. Blade Runner, our Haxorus. Now, what makes Haxorus strong, very strong in my opinion, is, I mean, 147 attack is basically speaks for itself. It's gonna knock out mons left, right, and center. But it also gets Dragon Dance. It got close combat with this generation, which lets it break steel types now. And just Dragon Dance Haxorus in general is gonna be extremely scary to prep against, because you're gonna have to bring something to stop that. Be that an unaware mon that you can take advantage of, be that a haze setter, be that a phaser. You basically need something to deal with this thing every single week. It gets Poison Jab for fairies, and after Dragon Dance, not a lot is gonna outspeed it. Maybe a Regieleki will outspeed it, but Regieleki is resisted anyway, so yeah. What did I want to say? Oh, you can also run Scale Shot Swords Dance if you're that kind of guy. I probably won't run it. Now, next Pokemon, I said to myself, I need utility now. I have a lot of threats. Like the 4 Pokemon that I drafted so far basically are all threats, very threatening. And I now needed support to, well, work with those threats. And what I thought is, why not get a fairy type at the same time? Why not pick up Klefki? No, that's not Klefki, Matt. That's Toxtricity. Another threat. D4C has joined the building for us. And D4C is gonna scream at people. And it's gonna scream at people very, very loudly. And HP bars are gonna drop. I mean, Toxtricity, where do I even start? Grounded Poison type, meaning I have now Toxic Spike Abuser, Immunity, and Absorber. That's what I wanted to say. You can run Shift Gear if you want with a physical Toxtricity, or you can just run Specs and do everything in with Boom Burst. Like, even resisted hits are gonna get 2-hit KO'd by a Boom Burst if you're Specs. You get Volt Switch, you get Sludge Wave. Boom Burst, like, you also bypass substitutes with your moves. Like, you have a passive Infiltrator because you only use sound moves. Punk Rock just makes you even stronger. Like, Boom Burst has 182 base power against neutral Pokemon with this thing. Combine it with a Specs and 114 special attack, things are gonna die. Yeah, Toxtricity gives us more momentum, gives us a Poison type, gives us a Balance Cracker. And now we picked up Alicia, our Klefki. And Klefki gives us Prankster, gives us Spikes, gives us Trick, gives us a Fairy type, which we desperately needed, and also a Steel type that can make itself immune to ground with Prankster Magnetize. Klefki's in general just very annoying to fight, because you get priority screens on the one hand, like you get all sorts of priority shenanigans that you really don't want to be dealing with. And yeah, completes our Fairy Dragon Steel Core. And with that Fairy Dragon Steel Core completed, I thought, okay, now we have one core completed, and I really don't need a Fire, Water, Grass core anymore, in my opinion. I mean, a Grass type would have been nice, but we'll somehow make it work without it. Yeah, next mon we picked up was Audino. All ears are Audino, and Audino is just a phenomenal cleric. It gets Healing Wish, it gets Wish, it gets Heal Bell, it gets Knockoff, it gets Body Slam. It gets all the fun stuff. I mean, Knockoff, of course, always is good. Remove items. Only problem is our 2 knockoffers so far really aren't any physical, like, threats to talk about. But I mean, supportive knockoff is fine. You don't need knockoff to do damage necessarily. Audino is just gonna be here to keep the team alive, and I can't wait honestly to use her because, yeah, I always need a Wish Passer, and Audino is just someone that I've never used before, and I'm sure she'll make a great addition. Yeah, not particularly threatening, but she's gonna keep the team alive, which is all that matters with all ears here. Next pick, I think, was Justice. Yeah, Justice or Dusknoir, another mon that I have never used. And let me tell you something about Justice over here. Pain Split. Pain Split exists. With 45 base HP, Pain Split's basically always gonna heal you back to full. Like, if you pain split something that has decent HP, it's gonna lose a lot of its HP that way. You get Will-O-Wisp access, you get Shadow Sneak, you're a Ghost type that I needed, giving me a normal type and a fighting type immunity. 135 defenses is strong. It's another Trick Room setup for Reuniclus and can abuse the Trick Room itself. It has 100 attack after all. And gets things like Shadow Claw, Shadow Punch, Shadow Sneak. It gets coverage. Excited to use him. I'm sure he's going to make a great addition, but now I'm just kind of starting to waffle because we're getting to the, like, not so flashy members of the team that just round out the draft. But yeah, Justice is going to be here, and I hope I'm going to bring it. I hope I'm going to bring it, because Dusknoir tends to be situational because of its low HP and speed. But if that Pain Split works out, it really works out, and Will-O-Wisp will just... also gets Destiny Bond, which you can use to, like, emergency stop some sweeps or whatnot. Yeah, next one I think was Rhydon. Exactly, Horny or Rhydon. Gives us our Stealth Rocks, gives us a physical wall that is extremely hard to break. With Eviolite, Rhydon in general is extremely hard to break, like super hard to break. Expect super effective hits if it's not water or grass. Like, it can live those with an Eviolite. And go for Avalanche in return. Or you just run Banded Rhydon, which always works. Big 130 attack is nothing to sneeze at. Gives us Stealth Rocks, gives us an Electric immunity. Yeah, Rhydon is just gonna be there, it's gonna sit there, it's gonna be fat. Next mon is our Starbucks, our Lopunny. And let me tell you something about Lopunny. It's another Healing Wish user, and it's a fast one this time. I totally copied the Audino Lopunny core from Wolf, and I'm not even sorry. Yeah, fast Healing Wish. Klutz with Trick. Klutz with Switcheroo is just broken. Like, being able to trick an Assault Vest is just... that shouldn't be a thing. And I really hope I get to use that tech once or twice this season, because it's really gonna catch some people. I mean, obviously, if you've seen this video, you know it exists, but you're still not gonna necessarily expect it. You can disguise all of your items you hold. You can even, like, switcheroo a Lagging Tail, and it's not gonna be... like, you're not gonna go last with Lagging Tail, because you, of course, have Klutz. But you can still, like, switcheroo Lagging... like, you can switcheroo so many things with this Pokemon that you shouldn't be able to. Toxic Orb doesn't have an effect, Black Sludge doesn't have an effect. It's gonna be a fun time with Starbucks over here. And our last Pokemon to round up the draft, another Flying type, a Bug type, a U-Turner, a Defogger, because we desperately need Defog. We only have 2 Defoggers, and of course Sabitza with Court Change. We picked up Maya, we picked up Vespiquen. Vespiquen is another decent wall. It gets Roost, it gets U-Turn, it gets Defog, it gets T-Spikes. So we have one of each hazards now, except for Sticky Web, which I really, really regret. I really wanted that Cutie Fly, man, but it got sniped, so we had to opt for Vespiquen instead. Have no webs to spare, but we have a decent Pokemon in return, like another ground immunity, and the electric immunity is electric immunity in Rhydon helps it as well. Rhydon also covers for a lot of my weaknesses, like Rhydon covers the fire weakness of my squad. Rhydon covers the poison weakness that what's it called? Actually, I have no poison weakness on this team. What am I talking about? Yeah, Rhydon just generally is gonna... I think Rhydon, Audino, and Celesteela are generally gonna be like a three stack that are gonna be hard to break per se, because they cover each other really well. Like, Rhydon covers all of Celesteela's weaknesses, both of them, and Celesteela covers Rhydon's weaknesses rather well. And Audino is just there and wishes and says, hey, do you want to stay alive? Fine, here you go. And Healing Wish on 2 Pokemon is gonna make me able to play rather aggressively with my win cons as well. Like, I'm gonna be able to just switch in Haxorus and a Scald, and if I get burned, okay, hey, I have Healing Wish, so be it. So I like 2 opportunities to get rid of status like a burn or something, or have, for instance, Cinderace take a lot of damage in the early game to break something, and then just Healing Wish it back in. It's just gonna be huge. I think this team has potential. It's not as good as I wanted it to be, if I'm honest. Like, of course, no grass type is a major weakness. No sticky webs is also a major weakness. My hazard removal, also my hazard game in general, isn't the strongest. Like, I have one spiker, one rocker, and one T-spiker, which are all different mons as well. But I think the draft synergizes quite well, because like you see Dusknoir that's just gonna burn things. You see Dusknoir that's just gonna heal itself, and then you see Audino that's just gonna heal everything else. Reuniclus, of course, always basically forces you to bring a dark type, which makes me not having a fighting type quite stupid, but Klefki deals with most dark types. I mean, of course, they're immune to all my prankster moves, but Klefki's a fairy type, so yeah, I mean, dark types are not a problem for Klefki whatsoever. What I wanted to say still was, oh yeah, and I, again, have a rather fat team. And that combined with screens, which I have this season, like I have a viable screen setter in Klefki this season, I think this team's going to be hard to break. And I think if you don't watch your back around the likes of Cinderace, Reuniclus, Haxorus, Toxtricity, Celesteela, those 5 especially can get out of hand very quickly if you don't pay attention. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this season very much. And this was a super scuffed video, and I apologize to anyone who sat through it. You're a legend, and you apparently like hurting yourself because this video was horrible. But yeah, week 1 against my brother should be going up Sunday evening. That's gonna be a cracker of a game. Our drafts just beat the shit out of each other. But yeah, that was me. You guys stay safe, have fun. For the participants of the league, good luck, and we'll see each other on the battlefield.